Welcome to today's video. We're weighing in at 172.3 pounds and we got a full body day ahead of us. Let's go. So we're starting off our workout with deadlifts. As you can see, it's pretty early in the morning, before 5 a.m. Muscles are pretty cold, so I have on a hoodie, have on my AirPods, all black. That was the vibe for the workout. Didn't really want to be bothered. Did some stretching, a few mobility exercises for the hips. So right now, just trying to warm up the glutes, get warm, and just warming up with that 135. Next, moved on to 225, still no belt. Muscles are still relatively cold. What I'm focused on here is just making sure my form is good. So good form with the deadlift that's bracing against the lats. And of course, lifting with our legs first and then engaging the back. At this point, I'm feeling pretty warm. So I got my belt on, took off the jacket, and I'm really focused on maintaining that good form, bracing, and just pushing hard with my legs. Finally worked up to my working weight. This is 335. And overall, I would say this was moving pretty easy, but I didn't want to push it. For weeks, I'd been stalling out at 315. Just for context within this workout, this is supposed to be 80% of my 1 rep max. So to see that 20% gain for working sets has been pretty reassuring and honestly a huge confidence booster. I feel like I've finally broken through that wall, which I'm very excited about. So how did I overcome the plateau? I began to focus on technique. Before, I would say that my deadlifting technique was okay, but pretty elementary. Recently, I've been very focused on abdominal pressure. And for context, in order to build that pressure, it's taking a huge breath, really breathing into the stomach, and then bracing with the abdomen, and then performing the lift. And like I said, that's made a huge difference lately. And it's something that I'm going to continue to practice. Just because this breathing technique is not only helpful for deadlift, but it's also helpful for squat. And I've also seen my squat go up as well. So there's definitely something to this breathing thing. Next up in the workout, we move on to bench. I haven't done bench in quite some time. I took some more days off than usual this weekend. Did a little traveling. And I must admit that bench has never been my strong suit. And again, it's all boiled down to technique. So the technique that I'm really focused on now is retracting my scapula and again, bracing against the lats and really pushing with the arms and the chest. And my bench has gone up significantly. For context, during my last bulk and within my first year of really lifting seriously, 225 was a big deal for me. I remember when I hit 225 for a triple, I was over the moon. But now I've finally reached a point where 225 is standard and it's kind of becoming warm-up weight. It's no longer a working weight. So that's a huge win for me. Speak of the devil, here I am working with 225. I want you to pay close attention to my stomach because, again, it's going to be a motif here is the breathing. As you can see, I take a big, deep breath with my stomach, and then I brace, and then I go. And that's really helped me with stability and making sure that I'm using the right muscle groups. Here I am going for more weight, and notice here, that's more of a superstitious thing, but I like to make sure that the bar is resting on the pad of my hand, so I give a little way with my fingers. It's a mental cue. It's not really that functional, but it's kind of funny. And again, see, I'm bracing with my abdomen, and then I'm pushing. Take a nice deep breath, brace, go. Just like that right there, and that's the technique that I want to see. That's the technique that's going to take me a long way and really help me get strong. And dun da da da, this is a PR. That's 255 on the bar. It was supposed to be a double, but in that first rep, I saw stars and I decided, okay, brother, re-rack that weight. Because at the end of the day, although I had another rep in the tank, I didn't have a spot. And you have to think long term, live to fight another day. So I said, instead of me killing myself, let's just take the PR for what it is and push on through the workout. And then warming down here with just 230, did 2 sets of 2 there. Next, we move into some auxiliary work. This is away from the whole powerlifting idea. However, it's still helping with our compound movements because strong hips equal a strong squat. So here we are in the hip abduction machine. I must admit that throughout my career of serious lifting, and by career, I mean 1 year of really lifting consistently and lifting seriously, I avoided hip abduction like the plague. And why is that? I think it has mostly to do with these female social media influencers. You always see this in the videos like, oh, like grow your glutes, like if you want a fat ass, blah, 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 blah. But like as a guy, I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like I'm not, but as I've gotten more into powerlifting, you quickly realize, oh, I can't really lift that much. I can't squat that heavy because I have weak hips. So I found myself doing hip abduction, and just as a side note, focused on technique here. I'm supposed to be doing a 1 second pause at the top. Not really doing that, so I really should have dropped the weight and focused on form. But I did get the constant tension thing down and the tempo, so that's a bonus. But back to what I was saying, I found myself doing hip abductions and doing hip thrusts a lot, again, just because strong hips equals strong squat. And I want to squat heavy, so I'm going to train those muscles. I made a face at the end just because I didn't hit the rep range, but overall, it was fine. I just need to get over myself. Next, we move on to weighted pull-ups, as we've got one 25-pound chain on, and I'm going slow, focused on the eccentric, and pausing at the top. This is 3 sets of 3 to 5, and quite frankly, at this low rep range, I should have put on another chain. But good form, so felt a pump, can't really complain. And to finish off the workout, I did calf raises. In my Mortal Kombat voice, finish him. The beautiful thing about the calf muscle is that when you train it, it doesn't exhaust other muscles in the legs. So in theory, you could train calves every day and be 100% fine and only fatigue calves. But yeah, that's my workout in a nutshell. First workout thoughts, having a little oatmeal, sipping on a shake. Already took my creatine, fish oil, had some water. Overall, this is one of the best workouts that I've had in a very long time. Just for context, leading up to this workout, I took more days off than I usually do, just because I was out of town. I went to New York for the weekend. And although I wasn't really practicing health, just like stepping out of the gym and taking that time to myself and just not touching the weights and giving my body and nervous system like time to rest and recover really pays off. And I hit a PR on bench. Did 1 rep for 255. It was supposed to be a double, but I saw stars after the first rep. It was just like, I'm gonna re-rack this weight. And that's okay. Like sometimes you have to, well, not sometimes, all the times you have to know your limits, know what you're getting yourself into, and play smart, live to fight another day. And that's exactly what we did. Finally starting to break through my deadlift plateau. For weeks, I'd been stuck at 315, but this morning, 335 was moving easy. So I'm really intrigued by this idea of taking more time off. And I think once I'm done with this program, I'll probably do 4 days max in the gym just because I want to get the most out of my lifts. And I'm at the point now in my fitness journey where intensity is more important than consistency. I've proven that I can be consistent. Like that's not an issue anymore. So right now, in order to grow and in order to break through these plateaus, I need to rest and I need to train harder. So that's where I am. Very exciting place to be within this journey. And I'm excited to see what the winter holds. I want to put on some size. I want to, of course, have more muscle maturity. And in order to do that, you have to be strong. A big muscle is a strong muscle. And in order to grow, you have to rest properly. Train hard, rest hard. So that's where I am mentally. But overall, feeling very good, very happy with today's lift.